Hello, I am Deanne Hislop and I welcome you to video 2 of our 10-part EMF educational series. This video is probably the most important because we're going to be talking about how to hardwire through your home. Now, there are 3 easy ways, and again, we're talking generally, so there may be things outside of this or you may be in a slightly different situation. However, for the majority of homes, there are 3 ways that I suggest you hardwire. So what exactly does hardwiring mean? Now, it wasn't so long ago that we actually used cords to hardwire our computers. We had phone lines running everywhere, and you would hear the little dial-up tone, all sorts of things going on. But now the technology has changed a little bit, but we're still able to hardwire our devices. Now, hardwiring also means that you're going to get far better internet connection than you are wirelessly because you're going to have a lot less interference. Generally, your internet will run faster and with less dropouts. And you'll notice that most of the more advanced tech will have a hardwired connection to it. Things like security systems, smart TVs definitely function better being hardwired. And the reason being, as I suggested, is that there's there's minimal dropouts. There's not so much interference on the line or on the signal itself. And so for that reason, a lot of people do prefer to hardwire their systems. Now, there are 3 ways, as I mentioned, that you can hardwire a house. There are additional ones, but in general, these are the 3 main. So the first thing is to directly plug in to your router. So what does that actually mean? It means that on the back of your router, that these little things here aren't just pretty, they're not just there for decoration. It means that you can put an Ethernet cord in there. A lot of people will often call the Ethernet cords like a blue cord. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes and colours. So what you would do is that would go straight into the back of your router, and then the other end of this will plug in directly to the device or the unit that you're using. Now, you'll notice that some technology and devices, especially the thinner laptops and tablets and things like that, don't have the Ethernet port. They don't have the little spot to put that cable in. Now, that is not an issue because what it means is that that device will just require an adapter, and we will be talking about those in another video. So for now, what I want you to consider is how many devices you have in your home that you can plug in using a cord. Now, depending on where your router is, it may not be convenient for the things that you want to use to have a cord coming from your router. So there are 2 other things that you can do. Number 1 is you can get someone out to run some hardwired ports for you. So that means that they're going to come out and do a little hole in and set you up with a little connection spot or a port so that you can then run a cord from there to the device that you're using. This is the most ideal way to hardwire through your house. If it is an existing home, then you'd be looking at putting those ports along your external walls. And the reason being is that you then don't need to chase into the wall. It can be dropped down through the wall cavity. They generally cost anywhere between around about $80 to $150 per port to install, depending on who you get to do them and the number of ports that you're installing. Some, depending on the build, can be a little bit trickier. But generally, I look at putting ports in places, and again, this will really depend on how your family uses technology. But I like to have a port obviously in the entertainment room or where you've got your theatre or TV, in case you are using or do want to use a smart TV, because each of your smart TVs will need to be hardwired to create a low EMF home. Where you use your computer, printer, laptop, they will also require a hardwired port. And then I like to have them in places where if I want to grab my laptop and sit at the kitchen table or somewhere that I use often with technology, then I'll have a port nearby to that. So just recapping there, you can go direct plug into your router to your device. So if you're just at home and you've got an office set up, you might find that your router's in the office, and you can easily run enough cords in there to hardwire the devices that you're using in there. For those, especially those in a bigger home with multiple users, then you may want to consider investing in getting some hardwired ports put throughout the home. If you don't have a huge amount of users, and I have seen people do this method with quite a few users and teenagers as well, or perhaps you're renting or you're looking for a slightly less expensive option, then you can do something called internet over power line. Now, the way that this works, and this is a really cool setup, is that you go from your router like this. So you'll have an Ethernet port that goes from your router, and that'll go into a little device that looks like this, which, as you can see, has got a 240 volt plug to the back bit. And it'll click into there. Okay, so it'll go from the router to one of these, and that'll get plugged into your 240 volt plug socket. And then what that will do is that'll send the internet over your existing home wiring. So the cool thing about this is, say you've got your router in one room and you want to use it internet also in 2 rooms down the house, then you would use this, plug it into the socket, and then you get another one of these that you would plug into a socket in that room and then run the cable to the device that you're hardwiring. This is a really easy and great little setup. I tend to set a lot of people up like this when they've only got a couple of users on there. I use them in my own home. You can also get some of these. You can see that one's got 1 port on it. You can also get ones with multiple ports on them. I like this brand. This is by Netgear. That's it there, if you can see it. That particular model is one with 2 ports on there, and you can get some with 4 ports on there as well. This particular one as well, also, if you can see, it also has a power point on the front of it, which means that you don't actually lose any of your power points. And in particular in older homes that tend to not have a lot of power points, that's really important as well. So how that setup works again is that it goes from your router to one of these by Ethernet. So your Ethernet will be in. That gets plugged into the nearest socket, and then you can pick it up in another room by plugging one of these into your wall socket and running a cord from that. Now, the only downside of using this system is that it only works with power points that are on the same electrical circuit. So when your electrical circuit, so your 240 volt power line is put in, they do it in circuits. Most homes will have between 2 and 3 circuits. You need to make sure that it is on the same circuit to be able to pick it up. So it's a little bit like a loop. Most of the time you'll find that the circuits will run down one side of the house, or you know, the front will be on one circuit, the back will be on the other. The easiest way to work out what is on that circuit is to switch one circuit off and see what is still working. So sometimes what we do, and this is really easy to do with a little lamp, is to switch off the other units. So switch off the other circuits. So you'll see in the meter box there will be power circuit perhaps 1, power circuit 2, might be power circuit 3. You can switch those off, and you can do this with the guidance of an electrician if you feel you need to do it that way. But you can turn those circuits off, and then you can go around with a little lamp and plug it in and just see which sockets are still live. And those are going to be the sockets that you are going to be able to put this in and are going to be able to pick up internet. most homes these days, especially a lot of new builds, are really quite narrow, and that kind of really benefits this situation because it often means that you can pick up, you're not always so far away from a circuit that can pick it up. So it might mean that at times you are running a cord, across a room to where you're using it. You may also choose to run an extension cord, and then you can pick it up with the extension cord. It's up to you, but it needs to come from a power point on that source. So there are three main ways: direct plug into your router, and you can do a combination of these as well. So you can directly plug in, say, your office to your router, and then run perhaps a power line to a room where you want to use it for your smart TV, and then you could have a port installed upstairs. It's really up to you how you use it, but the main thing is that we want to make sure that we are able to run a cord to any of the devices that are going to require Wi-Fi to be in use. That is the most important thing. Ideally, like I say, hardwiring a house is a really good investment, especially if you've got multiple users, but it's not in everyone's budget to do so. So I hope that's clarified how you can do that. Just in relation to cost with these sorts of things. So I do recommend getting things from JB Hi-Fi. Reason being is that if you buy anything and it doesn't work or it's the wrong one, then they're really good at refunding. And, sometimes there is a little bit of playing around as to find out what is the best, device or adapter or things like that to be using. And I found them always really helpful on that front. So again, this is a Netgear Powerline Internet over Powerline adapter. There are also ones available on the market that don't have the Ethernet point, that are actually Wi-Fi extenders. You need to make sure that that is not what you are buying, that you are buying one that is an Ethernet port only. These start at around about $130 for the ones like this that have a single port. These ones with the double ports, I think these recently were $199 or $200. Which is pretty cheap if you're going to be hardwiring a house with them, and especially given that they've got multiple ports on them. And you can also, these come in packs of 2. So when you buy them, you'll need to buy one that's going to be used as like the source, or the main one that's going to come from the router into the thing. And then the other one you can use for your device. If you buy an additional pack of 2, that means that you'll have 3 that you can use to plug different devices in. And in particular, if you were getting ones that had a double Ethernet port, or you can get some in different brands that have 4 Ethernet ports on them, then all of a sudden you've got a lot of ports that you can use to hardwire your devices with. So thank you. I hope you're feeling empowered to take action to better your health. If you're on our email subscription list, you'll get this video with some links and some additional information on how to hardwire. These videos can also be accessed on the www.buildingbiologywa.com.au website under videos. You can also see a lot of these on Facebook. They just won't have the additional information with them on there. So the best way to get the videos is to subscribe to the website. And I will see you in our next video. So for now, take action, and I'll see you soon.